I call this meeting to order of the Hawarden City Council. This is our regular council meeting. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. It's 5:30 p.m. and we are in the Hawarden City Hall in the council chambers room. Starting off with standard agenda items. 1A, approval of the March 11th, 2026 regular meeting minutes.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. 1B is approval of the March 25th, 2026 claims for payment. It's been in your packet. Do you have any questions about that? If not, I would take a motion.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the March 25th, 2026 claim for payment.
And a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the claims for March 25th, 2026, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you. At this time, we welcome those that are in attendance, and we've got open business from the community, so anyone that would like to speak, please come up to the podium. Make sure the green light is on, and welcome.
Hi, I'm John Grease, still live in Hawarden. I'm here tonight to discuss the Catalyst Grant Program. I gave each of you some documents related to the city's Catalyst Grant. My purpose is simply to ensure the council has the information that I have and to request that this topic be placed on the agenda for the next council meeting so it can get reviewed, or it can be reviewed in the appropriate setting. The packet contains 4 items. They're not necessarily in order, but the 4 items are a conflict of interest declaration form completed by the Community and Economic Development Director. The form identifies an actual, potential, or perceived conflict involving her spouse's business and one of the original building grant recipients at 800 Central Avenue, the old lawyer's building. That was owned by her husband's LLC. The form is not signed. It does not, in my opinion, constitute a complete disclosure. When you have a conflict of interest, you are supposed to have some type of mitigation plan to mitigate the conflict. And I saw nothing in that, any of the documents that I received from the city. Second, there's a signed project assurance form. These are submitted with the grant application. I'm including this one just so you have an example of it. You can compare the information in that form with the ownership information currently associated with the project. This particular one was for the Willow Building at 806 Central Avenue. It was originally owned when the grant started by Hawarden Economic Development / Chamber, I guess. And then it was sold in February of 2005. When it was sold, then that grant became out of compliance because there's no project assurance signed by the new owner in the grant package. And I have no indication that the IEDA was made aware that they have a new ownership. Okay, third is a copy of the Catalyst Grant Agreement. That goes together with the process assurance forms. They interact as a contract for the entire grant. What do I have now? Fourth is an email from the Community and Economic Development Director stating that she had spoken with IEDA grant administrator on multiple occasions on the phone, and that ownership of the buildings was never an issue to be discussed. And I'm including this because the agreement requires certain communications and disclosures to be made in writing. When a grant building is sold to a new owner, then they have to, obviously you have to get permission or get agreement with the IEDA to go ahead and move that grant to new ownership. And with that is a new project assurance form signed by the new owner and the city. When the original started out with the Willow Building and if I get winded, please just throw an eraser at me, Larry. If the grants originally started out with 4 buildings. You had the Willow Building, you had the old Lawyer Building, you had the, I always forget, Gypsy Soul, and then you had the Falcon Building. Now, in the grant package, when I asked for the information so that I could look at it, I received 2 project assurance forms that were signed by the building owners at the time, which would have been the Chamber, and then HD Development LLC. And they were good with the exception. Those 2 were good once everything's signed. They were good with the exception of the unmitigated conflict of interest. And the other 2 buildings, there's nothing in the packet that there's ever a project assurance form signed. So as far as I could tell, those grants were never in compliance. Now, it doesn't look like the Willingas, the new owners, came online for the Willow Tree in February of 2005. They're the same owners now of the old Lawyers Building. They bought that in June of 2005. And since they purchased it, if they did not do a new project assurance form, then the grant is out of compliance. Now, I'm sure it's not IEDA's policy to go ahead and try to claw back money, but that was my original concern. Is I'm worried that it's out of compliance. It puts us in a bad position. Because if they claw back grant money, if they're not aware of these new owners do rehabilitation to the building, and then IEDA later finds out, hey, we never authorized this, then they're going to claw back money. And that is going to make us look horrible to anybody that is developing in our community. So my object is not to place blame on anybody, but I want the city to get the paperwork in order. Even if they verbalize, the IEDA verbalizes to you that, yeah, everything's good, it has to be in writing, okay? It has to be in writing. They have obligations under their rules that they follow. It's pretty stringent. So if they're ever audited and the stuff is bad, then, you know, it's not going to look good. So I just want you guys to get the paperwork in order. Like I said, I'm sure they'll give you a waiver for anything because they want the buildings rehabilitated. They want the towns to look good. They don't want to look bad on their end. They messed up done doing a grant. If you guys are proactive in fixing this, that's the only way, in my opinion, to go. I've weighed this on both sides. I can sit back and be quiet about it and then just wait for the ball to roll because the auditors are going to find out eventually, maybe 2 years down the road or whatever. Or I come out and say something and get the city and the council on the front page of what's going on so you guys can make a decision to be reactive, or not reactive, but proactive and get this stuff taken care of, okay? And then come up with a plan on if you ever come across a conflict of interest again that is severe, when you're dealing with the $100,000, the optics of it are horrible. That the grant was selected for her husband's building, but I'm not placing blame. I'm saying the optics is bad. So come up with a plan in the future so if you do have a mitigated conflict of interest, that person recuses themselves from being involved in that. It's easy enough. You've seen it when you guys have voted, or when Travis Olson used to be on the council. Anytime he was going to get paid for doing his internet stuff, he recused himself from the vote. That's easy enough to do. We have a bunch of people that could certainly handle one grant administration out of the 4. Now what we're looking at now is we have 3 buildings that are even doing any work now. Because you guys just now signed, or not now, end of January is when you gave them permission to even start building, which that should have been something that was done, you know, immediately. But that's another thing. Just get the paperwork in order, and I hope you put this on the agenda so that you can actually deal with it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anyone else? If not, We'll go on to the mayor's report. I would just like to congratulate those people that were recognized at the Chamber banquet on Saturday. The banquet was very well done, and the recipients of the awards were very deserving. And that's all I have for my report. So let's move on to staff reports. Jacob?
Just busy making sure that we're staying online for this budget. So that's about all that I've got that I've been working on in the last week. So
Okay. Travis?
Working on getting 3 quotes to plant some grass seed at the FEMA lot location. Right now it's just all dirt, so we want to get just some cover for the erosion. The quotes I'm asking for will leave a strip along the road, so then we can get the utilities put in and then seed that back over when they're done, so. And then also we're looking at installing ADA push button opener on the front door at the city office. Got a couple interested parties give us some quotes on that, and then possibly one on the back door for the community center as well. I'm not sure why we never thought of it before, but something we're going to look into.
Okay, thank you, Travis. Misty, anything tonight?
Nope, nothing.
Okay. Jenny?
Nothing, thank you.
Chief DePriest?
Yeah, just a quick update on the policy manual. Since they transitioned to the platform, was able to get in there, and there's really not a whole lot of major differences, but they decided they were going to do weekly webinars to kind of triage certain issues that other agencies have experienced, and so I've been attending those the past couple of weeks. They're about an hour in length, and it's basically just a question-answer format of any issues that users are experiencing and how to make sure that Lexipol has a fix on the way, which they're pushing every 2 weeks. So far it seems like a good thing, and I'll keep on attending them as they seem worthwhile.
Very good. Thank you. We'll move on to council comments. Anyone have anything to say tonight?
not really, no.
Okay. Then move on to other agenda items. Number 3 is a resolution 2026-08, a resolution authorizing the execution of an amendment to the gas supply agreement.
This would be PFA, which is Public Energy Facility Authority, which we're a part of, was created by Clayton Energy and 40 other municipal gas utilities. It enables us to go by long-term contract gas at 65% of our monthly supply, and it gives us a better rate. And then by doing through revenue bonds, we're able to get a discount on those. So we entered a 30-year gas supply contract with variable discount periods. The first discount period was 2019 through 2026. And that's proven to be a great option. Right now, we've got a savings of $18,900 per year that comes back on those. And they're just looking to renew that discount period and continue the savings, or hopefully increase those savings. This resolution is just an amendment to that original contract that just allows them to go out and get a new discount in our opening period.
So with the prices of liquid natural gas right now, I mean, they're as high as they've been in probably 5 years. Is there any benefit to waiting until maybe some of the uncertainty is gone, or is that something that they've considered?
They've definitely considered, and it sounds counterintuitive, but when oil prices are higher, natural gas prices are lower, because natural gas is a byproduct of drilling and looking for oil. So they think the time is right. They've been working on it in the last probably year, waiting for the right time. And when I say they, I mean Clayton Energy, and they're working with major firms in New York for bond counsel. So I leave it to the experts when they say, you know, now is when we want to look. They did say, though, that if they couldn't get our 20-cent discount, which is what we have now, they're not going to, or higher, they're not going to go through with it. So there is a point where they get there and it's like 10 cents. They're gonna wait.
Does our current discount carry forward at all, or is that
I think it's through
to
26.
the end of 26 as well?
Yep. Which your prepayment, our 30-year gas supply contract still there. I think it would just carry on the 20 cents. You just wouldn't have a chance to go higher.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't know what that discount's gonna be until really close to the closing time on those.
Okay.
Other questions? If not, could I get a motion, please, on the resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-08.
And a second?
I'll second.
We'll do a roll call vote. Clucky,
Aye.
Skelling,
Aye.
Warner,
Aye.
Allen,
Aye.
Boza.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you. Moving on to number 4 is to set a public hearing for the proposed property tax levy.
So this is just, as it says, we're just going to set the public hearing for our next meeting for the tax levy, the proposed tax rate, and that has to be in its own separate meeting. So next meeting on April 8th, we will actually have a special council meeting that we'll open with at 5:30. We'll do that, we'll complete that meeting, and then we'll go into our normal city council meeting after that, where we'll have all the other stuff. But, so this is just setting that. And everything is already submitted and ready to go. Once that happens, it'll be in the paper, on the website, and on Facebook. Everybody should have already got a letter from the county that has property that kind of states what our proposed rate is right now, so.
Questions?
So move.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second to set the public hearing for the proposed property tax levy for April 8th. We'll do roll call again. Skelling,
Aye.
Warner,
Aye.
Allen,
Aye.
Boza,
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Number 5 is fiscal year 27 budget work session.
Last day to make changes, if anybody has anything from this current budget that we've been working on. If not, then that's it.
Oh.
I figure we've got all the talking out, so we're good.
Okay, very good. Thank you for all your work. Number 6 is a discussion on ordinance 165 with zoning ordinance.
So last meeting, it was brought up about the our current process that if somebody's trying to get a special exception passed, the way that it goes is the zoning commission has to meet to discuss and come up with a recommendation that they're going to send to the BZA. The BZA is the board that makes the approving authority over that. Currently, the way that our ordinance is written, technically, both of those meetings could be on the same day. I don't think that's best practice, and some of the citizens also believe that that wouldn't be best practice. So we could, if we wanted to, just add a little bit of verbiage to make sure that those happen on different days, and that would solve that part. Additionally, the BZA, we did meet last week, and they brought up that they have some things that they would also look to like to change that would maybe change some of the things that are special exceptions right now, specifically related to detached accessory buildings, potentially changing the size limits on them. They're going to come up with a recommendation, and then they'll submit it, and then I'll bring it to you guys, because ultimately you guys make the ordinance rules. So they will get us a recommendation of what they would like to see changed inside the ordinance, and then we can decide if we want to do that. And I think that that would be easy to do both those at the same time within that same ordinance. So.
Any questions? Okay, we'll address that next meeting, correct?
It might not be next meeting. It'll just be when they have everything.
A future meeting.
Kind of put together, but hopefully rather sooner than later.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm not going to host those meetings on the same day to also do that, because I just don't think it's best practice anyways. But that way we can kind of future-proof it if that's what we want to do.
Okay, very good. Number 7 is approval of fiscal sponsorship for the Hawarden Senior Center, the Hawarden Community Dinner, and Wreaths Across America.
These sponsorships are for they're asking for, the senior center's asking for funding for new roof on their building. Community Dinner is planning on getting a bunch of new kitchen equipment, pots, pans, and utensils, and Wreaths Across America paying for wreaths for the veterans without, so that they have enough, including the sponsorship, so that we can actually, so they can actually do the whole project in the upcoming years.
Any questions on that? We've done this kind of thing before.
Correct, yeah. It's just using us as a facilitator, receiving the funds and passing them back out.
For the
For the
grants.
grants.
Yep. It's just make us a pass-through
Yep.
entity for it. We don't commit
That
to
way-
any spending or anything.
Those organizations will cut us the check, and that we're sponsoring them, and then we pass the funds on to them. So,
So move.
Second.
Oh, but this close.
We do have a motion and a couple of seconds. All those in favor of approving the fiscal sponsorships for the Hawarden Senior Center, Hawarden Community Dinner, and the Wreaths Across America, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. On to number 8, which is a resolution 2026-09, tax abatement.
so this one, just like last meeting or the meeting before, is a tax abatement that was needs to be submitted to the county. We have it in our code to allow these if they meet the certain thresholds of this. Residential only has one option, and that's that they get the first 75K of value of the actual value of the house added for a 5-year period of exemption from taxes. So it's all attached inside the packet. You guys can see all that.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-09.
And a second?
I'll second.
We will do a roll call vote again. We'll start with Warner,
Aye.
Allen,
Aye.
Boza,
Aye.
Clucky,
Aye.
Skilling.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you. Number 9 is approval of engagement letter with Williams and Company.
And I actually reached out back to my contact with them, and I was trying to verify what was exactly different from the one that we passed in October, because I didn't really see much difference, and then he just verified that it was the same, so we don't have to actually do this one. So,
Okay. That was easy. Number 10, consent agenda. We don't have to do that either. We have nothing on the agenda. So we are at adjournment. Could I get a motion,
So moved.
please?
Second.
In a second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. We are adjourned at 5:54, and our next meeting is April 8th.
Pass that down.
Thank you.
First.